morning, pre-K, welcome back. Today, Miss Herman is going to show you something that might look like a magic trick with just a simple glass of water and some light. Now, you can't see in the classroom, but I have overhead lights above me. I also have, if we look this way, there are windows all open with the shade, so there's plenty of light coming in through the room, but I'm also going to use a flashlight to show you how light passes through water. So, we're learning about a big fancy word today called refraction. Now, I know that sounds really big and you're probably saying, Miss Herman, I don't even know how to say that word. But that's really just a fancy way of saying how light can bend. Usually when light is just going through the air and not through objects, it travels in a straight line. That's why, well, let me shut the light off so you can see better. That's why if you could see here, when Miss Herman shines the light on the paper, it's shining, maybe she turned it on, that would help. If she shines it straight, it moves in a straight line. Now, light usually moves in a straight line, but when it has to go through an object or something, or two objects, it causes refraction. So that means instead of going as a straight line, it bends, okay? Now, when light, excuse me, is passed through the cup, why does my flashlight keep going out? It has to not only pass through the water, but it has to pass through the glass as well. Now this stops the light from traveling at a straight line and causes it to bend, which you call a refraction. When there's nothing blocking the light travels in a straight line. So the light has to travel for the magic trick through the light, and we're going to use the light in my classroom. The light has to travel through the water and the glass in order for it to reach the paper. Now when the water passes through the glass, what it does is the light goes through the glass, it bends, it reflects back through the glass and into our eyeballs. And if we remember from our sense of sight, our eyes send messages to our brain telling us what we're seeing. But this can cause you to think, am I seeing what I thought I saw? So we're going to use our magic trick and see if you could figure out what's happening. So, when we're using our brains, we see that the fish are turned, if we're using our eyes, it's sending a message to our brain telling us that the fish are turned this way and the arrows are going this way. This we're not going to look at yet. That's a different magic trick. So take a second just to look at the pictures, okay? And hopefully when Miss Herman films this, it will come out as cool as it does in person. Trial and error. Okay. So take a second. Let your eyes send a message to your brain showing you what the fish look like before our magic water glass touches it. Okay. Now watch when Miss Herman passes the glass of water over the arrows. Wait, they're going in a different direction. Watch. See, when we look without the water, the arrows are pointing this way. If we go slowly past it, let's just do the bottom one. We could see the top one's still going that way, but the bottom one, sorry, can you see it? So it's going that way. When the water goes over it, the light goes through it, bends it, sends it back to our eyes looking in the other direction like a reflection would. We know when we look in the mirror that we're seeing a reflection of ourselves, which is really a mirror image. It's flipped in a way. So when we look in the mirror, say if this was our cute little face making a tongue, in the mirror, let's see, it will look like our tongue is on the other side, right? So this can show us reflection, but also how it changes because the light is bending the image in the water. Now let me show you here with the fish. We see how the fish are facing in this direction, right? Let's move the glass over and see what direction they face when they pass through the glass. Oh, move a little bit further. You see that? Then they're swimming in a different direction. Now what you could also do is sometimes water in a glass could act like as a magnifier. So let's see how far away my glass is from the smiley face. But when I put it up to the smiley face, it looks like it's closer, right? And the further and further I take it away, the smaller it looks. And the closer and closer and closer I bring it up, sorry, it's kind of hard to do this looking into a camera. The closer I bring it up, the bigger it gets. So, I want to take a second and just, oh, my camera is much taller than I am. I'll just stand up for this. I just want to take a second and talk about what it means that light bends. So we know that light travels in a straight line. When it had to pass through the glass and the water, it had to bend, causing a reflection of the images we saw, like the fish and the arrow. That caused them to look like they were going in the opposite direction of when we drew them. Now you could try this at home with other objects. Line them up and see when you pass the glass over it if it looks like it's going in the same direction or a different direction. Also, what you could do is try to ask yourself, why do you think that's happening? And we also sent questions to your parents to have you answer once you have finished watching the video. Lots of questions just to think about what you have seen in the video and why you think that that's happening with light. Can't wait to hear your responses. Let us know if you do any of your own experiments.